What's up guys, SkyKevin here, and a user on Discord has requested we delve into the hidden world of Season 4, the forgotten private servers of Last Oasis that to this day are still running with all the mechanics and features that you know and love from Season 4 of LO. So, let's get started. So how do we get to Season 4 of LO? Well, I must admit, I've recently been so focused with Season 5 in the new direction that I never really bothered to look at where those Season 4 survivors had went off to. As far as I was aware, they were just a random assortment of private servers already on the list. Alas, this is not the case. In order to get to Season 4 content, you actually have to go into your Steam games, properties, and under betas change to the classic S4 in order to play in that mode. From there, you'll download essentially the entirely new old version of LO and be able to roll back to the game from before. Unfortunately, I've been told if you're playing on Xbox, this isn't an option. The first thing I noticed, which was interesting, was that the loading screen for going into this seems to be a little bit shorter. I'm not sure why, but that's possibly due to an optimization pass they did with the initial load of the game. I'm not quite sure, and it really could just be me. I was actually quite shocked to find that a lot of my old characters were actually still associated with my game. I guess they never actually bothered wiping them from the database, or they're still somehow associated with your Steam account. So if you've played on a private server before in Season 4, well, it looks like they're still there. I decided to check out this Go Play Outside PvP/PvE server to take a look at what they had to offer. It was a persistent world, but all the tiles do burn. There's no worm tinctures, no flares, or battle fans, and they actually disabled building on all the PvP tiles. They also seem to have quite a large list of tiles associated with the server. I chose to start on a PvE server just to check out how things went after logging in and to see what kind of a situation they had. To be honest, it was really cool seeing a lot of the old familiar game mechanics once again. I immediately grabbed a beat stick and ran into the center of the Oasis. It's strange, it felt to me like the difficulty to survive was somehow lessened by the need for water. I was running through the desert with a few cactus in my hand, and I didn't even think that would be a problem for me at all. In contrast, if I was playing the Season 5 servers, I'd be freaking out because not having enough water is a sure means of death. In this case, to be honest, it cheapened the overall goal for me to survive. As long as I had cactus or aloe in my inventory, it really didn't matter. Upon looking at the world map, I could see all the other hard maps and the different ones that were released, and I had forgotten how varied the content in the game had been so far. Considering we only have the Canyon starter maps right now, Season 5 definitely has a lot of content to continue with as they add more maps back into the game. That being said, I remember the variation of maps didn't really lend all that much to the game and really just gave players a new meta map to sit on and live on that tile. It doesn't really help that I don't think I had a single person in my tile the entirety of the playtime. I came across a Femkey which I easily dispatched, and I have to say I miss the old Femkey AI and movement. It just made so much more sense, and I think they should probably change it back to the previous behaviors where you can actually just kill it with melee weapons. I think that's something they definitely need to bring back to Season 5. As I went through the Oasis, everything just felt so easy. In a matter of minutes, I already had a Firefly Walker, all the water I needed from Aloe, and I basically just went on collecting fragments until I could move up to the next walker. It was a stark reminder though when I started building on walkers, how much fun it was to have the ability to place something wherever I wanted rather than having to use the rig system. The walkers themselves were also quite slow from what I remember. All the Rupu camps I fought were pretty much a complete joke to me. I could just pull up beside one, murder every one of them with the beat stick, loot what I needed, and move on to the next thing. It was quite simplistic, and with that comes good and bad things. I think generally though, the biggest thing that I found was the disconnect between the PvE and this game mode. If you are someone who doesn't want to do that whatsoever, then it's nice because you can go from nothing to a walker in a matter of minutes and get right into the action. You can just farm up what you need really quickly, and everything just seems to be on hand, ready to craft, as long as you have the basic materials to accommodate it. I've played the past few seasons, so I know there's more to it than that, and once you get into the tablets, it becomes a progression that slows right down. But I personally think that the reason why previous seasons haven't worked is that simply the gameplay loops don't keep players interested. And I know this sucks because there are so many fun things and cool features that they ended up having to do away with on the previous iteration of LO. The base packing mechanic was fantastic. It was very useful and fun to use. The same with being able to place boxes and stations wherever you want on a walker. I know why the rig system is a thing, and it does allow for a greater variation on the early tiers of walkers, which is quite nice, but I I think the base packing feature should definitely be given another go, especially if it comes to hanger pieces. It would be nice to pack a hanger with you wherever you go so that you can just unpack, put it down anytime you want to leave your walker somewhere overnight. I think going back and seeing how the packing feature works again, this is going to be a fantastic next step for Season 5 content. But coming back and seeing everything we left behind in the previous seasons, I wanted to make a video on it today as a reminder of what the game used to be like and the good and bad features that we had before. I am certainly not saying we need to add raptor walkers back into the game, but I think that there are definitely a few features like the base packing that we've really missed out on. If you're more inclined to go back to the way things were, then maybe heading to these private servers and playing here might be an option for you. Personally, for me though, I'm liking where things are going with Season 5, and I think it has a lot of potential, and in fact, coming back and seeing all the content in terms of assets, maps, and other creatures that they have at their disposal, I'm really excited to see the next steps of what they'll offer in Season 5. That's it for today. I hope you liked this video, and thanks to Haz for the idea to come check these servers out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.